Today we're gonna code lots with Mr. Kim Philpotts, and oh how amazing you'll be.
Well, good morning. Happy Friday, and welcome to the stream. So it's Friday. That's time for a Xamarin UI challenge. So I've got my Christmas tree lights going on. So let's duck into it. Let's have a look at what we're going to do. So basically, we're having a look at this UI challenge here, which is a nice little coffee animation. In fact, I should bring that up on the desktop. There we go. So we're implementing this. We have started doing a little bit of work on it already. Let's have a look at what we have so far. Let me just go back and run this again. And see how we go. Be too long. Come on, Android, you got this. Oh, I think Android is overloading my encoder. There we go. I think we're good. I think we're about to launch. Here we go. So what we've worked on so far is we've got the sort of basic sort of main page laid out. We've also implemented this little counter that we have here, well, this little dollar figure here. So as I swap between different sizes, it does this little nice animation, which is cool. We've got a little bit of this sort of front card happening here. So when we bring that up, we've got this area down the bottom here where we're going to display some information. And we've got this swiping up and down. Beautiful. All right. So today, let's tackle this at a little bit more depth here. So as we make this selection work a little bit better, and probably add in a view model and also the details for the back of this page here. So first of all, I should say the animation or the design that we're looking at is this one by Nyat M Tran. I'll post that into the chat window. Okay, so if anyone wants to have a look at that, and yeah, let's get cracking. So feel free to say hi. Got any questions? Let me know. If you just want to have a chat. All right. So let's start off with adding a view model behind this, because at the moment this is all just sort of very, very hard coded. So let's do that. Let's add a view model in here. So I'm going to create myself a folder here. Let's go and add a new folder for our view models. And underneath here, let's put in a new item. Let's make it a class. Let's call this something like our order view model. And, you know, different people have different opinions on view models. What I'm going to use is I'm going to use James Montemagno's MVVM helpers for the view model. So I'm going to add a new get in for that puppy. In fact, here it is sitting there right. Let's go. Oh, actually, I've already got it installed. How about that? So it's already in there. Beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to make this a base view model. Using MVVM helpers. Beautiful. Okay, so that could be our view model. I'm also going to create a class here for, say, an order item. All right, so this is going to be like my model, essentially. So things I need in here, I'm going to need a name for my coffee. I'm going to need a description. So the little description text. So this is going to go, if we have a look at our design here, this is basically going to be this bit of text here that appears. We've also got prices for small, medium, and large in here as well. So let's throw those in. So we're going to want this to be like a money type, or in our case, probably a decimal in C#. So we'll say this is the small price. We'll put in another one here for our medium price. And we'll put in another one for our large price. Beautiful. We also need an image as well. So let's add a string in for that. This is going to be our image URL. Beautiful. I think that's probably all we're going to need there. So in my view model, I'm going to have a property of order item. It's going to be my selected item. Beautiful. Okay, and we'll add a constructor in here. And we'll say our selected item equals a new order item. And I'll just throw these values in here. Move this across to the other screen so I can have a look at it. So the name of this one equals, it's a mocha frappuccino. Okay, so we'll have a mocha frappuccino. Let's have a description in here. Description is going to be buttery caramel syrup meets coffee, milk, and ice for a rendezvous in the blender. Beautiful. All right, what else do we want in here? We want to have our small price. So let's make that like, I don't know. Let's make it $3.15. Let's have our medium price. We'll make that $3.45. And we'll have our large price, which is going to be $3.70. Oh no, let's make it $4.20. There we are. That's better. All right. And we also need an image URL. So this is just going to be referencing our image. So that's called our mocha frappuccino.png. Beautiful. Slap a semicolon in there. Beautiful. That'll work for us. And then on our main page, let's set the binding context. And I'll just add a view model in here. And this will be a new order view model. How's that? Using coffee view models. I'll add a field in for that. And we should be good. So now we should be able to get rid of the hard coding of that text and then replace it with our elements from our view model. So let's just spin this up and we'll do this as it's running. Let's see if my encoder gets overloaded here. It's all very quiet out there in the chat. Say hi if you're there. Or don't. Lurking's fine. Hopefully everyone's getting prepared for Christmas. If you celebrate Christmas, that is. All right, I think we're running. There we are. We are running. All right, so let's do this. Let's come to our main page. And let's do some binding here. Let's see if this works. Hey, President Not Sure, how you doing? Knocking off work for the day? Fantastic. That didn't work, did it? What's that going on? What's that? All right, so we didn't get our image URL. Interesting. Let's see if we got our name. No. So much for our view model. Why you don't love me? A selected item, that's a property that we got there. What's going on here? We could have view model. View model. Yeah, we're going to have view model. Beautiful. I wonder if it's getting upset because, yeah, rest in peace view model. Bum, bum, bum. I wonder if we need to raise some property changes out of this. See if this works. Let's see if this is more happy. Let's do that. Let's run it again, see what we get. I didn't expect my view model to be a problem. Oh well. Binding context, is that. Looks right. Needs property change? Maybe. Well, this should do it here. So we'll see if the name starts appearing. If the name starts appearing, then it's definitely that. No? Maybe we need to probably change on this bad boy. Oh my goodness. we happy with that? What do you think, President? Is that going to fix it? Yes, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. Yep. In fact, isn't there a binding view these days? Binding errors? Isn't there a binding errors debug? Because that's exactly what it is. There we are. Let's have a look at this. And this will tell us. Yeah. That's our problem. Selected item dot image URL. There it is. President, lucky I got you here to help me out. There we are. Now we're in business. The XAML binding failures window. It doesn't update. That's interesting. It doesn't update when we hot reload, because they're no longer a problem. Oh well, there we go. Let's go and put our description text in here. Yeah. So, yeah, it does turn out that you got to bind to the right thing. How about that? Who would have thought? It probably means we don't need these. They're probably not going to hurt, though. All right. So we have that. We've got a small, medium, and large price. So let's start using those. So we've got some janky little code down the bottom here. So let's make our view model the correct type. That is the correct type. Beautiful. So let's go and update this to view model dot selected item small price. Now, what's that expecting? That is a decimal to a double. So should this be a decimal? What data type should we use? C# data type for money. It's a decimal, I think. It's a decimal. So let's make that a decimal. All right, and then we'll basically go and do this and make this a medium price. And we'll make this a large price. All right, so now we should we should have the correct prices, I think. Yeah, I think decimal's the right thing to use for currency. I think that's what I used in my view model. Yep. There we are. We've got our right values there. That's the values we used, isn't it? 315, 345, 420. Beautiful. And we also have our image. Love it. All right, let's see if we can make this thing work a little bit nicer, hey? And do some proper selection, some proper colors on this as we change our values. All right. How are we going to do that? Ideally, we probably want to turn it into a control, but for the moment, let's do this. Let's actually have a look at the animation, see what the animation's doing when they select different values. Okay, so it's changing the background color. It's changing the rectangle and moving that rectangle across in different ways. Beautiful. So let's add a little bit of code in to do that. Now, I don't think it fades that color out. Yep, it just changes the background color and then moves the rectangle. Okay, so let's do something like create ourselves a rectangle. In our main page here. So a rectangle a little bit like this one. And we'll call this our selection rect. And we'll make this a nice greenish sort of color. We won't add any fill to it. All right, is that our selection rectangle? Let's say grid dot column equals 1. Yeah, all right, cool. So this rectangle is basically just going to move between those 3 positions. So we can use something like a layout 2 in order to do that. So let's say we were to do something like selection rect layout 2. And we want the bounds of, say, the small rect. So when we tap on the small, we go to the small rect. Let's do it over 100 milliseconds with a little bit of easing. Just to ease into the weekend. Easing dot cubic in out. There we are. Let's try that. Once we get this working, we can also We'll see if that works. If that works, we can change the backgrounds. Look at that. Beautiful. How easy is that? All right. So I guess the thing that we really want to do now is we want to change the cup size. So change the stroke on the cup size and the fill in the background as well. And we might want to abstract this out into a single method, maybe. Okie dokie. What have we got? Do you want to animate this? I don't think we want to animate this. I think it'd be cool. Non-animated. Let's do this. Let's create a method. So create this method here. So we're basically in this, we'll move the selection rectangle. We'll update the background colors. We'll update the stroke on the cup. I think that's all we need to do. So how are we going to pass this in? We could have an enum here, maybe. Right, so I guess the thing that we need to do we should do a switch here. Let's do a switch. Feels pretty janky, but we'll get it done. Dot. What is it? What type is it? It's not just a rectangle. It is... What would it be? It would be like a shapes. Xamarin.Forms shapes. Yeah, I think that's it. Rectangle. Let's just do this for giggles. Let's see if this works. It's not pretty code. And then maybe we can do this. We can say selection rect, lay it out to the selected rect bounds. Lovely. Now, selected rect doesn't like it. We need a default. Well, let's just start it off as small. It's just all right, so that should be good. Update the background color. So we should see how to say selected rect dot fill. Now this is a brush. This is not a color, right? So we need to say equals a new solid color brush, maybe. Ooh, this isn't going to work, is it? This isn't going to work because we're going to want to set the colors for each of them, aren't we? Maybe this isn't a good way of going. Okay, let's just do this for fun. Let's go and get our accent color. What is our accent color? Just do it a little bit nasty for the moment. Actually, it doesn't want to be that color. It wants to be this color. Stroke. This is a brush as well, isn't it? You know what they say, make it work and then make it better. Stroke on the cup. Okay, so we've got a bunch of cups here, paths. This is going to have to turn into a control, I suspect. But anyway. Selected cup is a small cup. Basically implementing a really janky radio button, I suppose. All right. Maybe we can clear the selections. And again, this is not how you really want to do it. But we'll do it this way anyway. Dot stroke. Let's do this. Let's create a brush. Let's have a look at what we have. We have a value like this. Slap that in there. Oh, we don't like that. Oh, there's got to be a color. So if I go to design, see what the color is. It's F8s. Okay. That's not right. A selected background is actually this one here. That's our selected background. Don't think it matters if I have the hash in there or not. All right, let's see if that works for us. I hate this already. We'll make this the unselected stroke and the large cup. I think it's going to work. It's just going to be ugly, ugly. That's all right. We can refactor. Screw that. Let's just do this for the moment. Do it the long way, and then we'll come back. Because this is terrible. All right, that's a lot of code. Maybe it'll work. I don't know. Let's find out. It's probably going to work. I'm going to need more coffee today. That's not right. There's something not quite right there. Oh, I think I know why. Because, so it's basically working. The problem with it is that we're actually changing the color of the stroke first, which makes it look jumpy. So the color of the stroke that we're going to, we don't want to do that. In fact, we don't want to adjust this at all. I think that will give us a better result. I mean, we could fade it as well. We could use like a color to extension method. I don't think it's what they're doing in the design. They're just like flipping the color. That's pretty much what they're doing. Gonna have to look at the color at the code. So you probably don't have a look at this code, President, because this code's terrible. But yeah, all I'm doing here is based on the size. I'm just getting the rect and the path that we're going to change, and then unselect everything, change them into the unselected state, and then move the rectangle across to a different position, and then changing the background color of those elements and this stroke color as well. What is if I... Ooh, that's not good. Okay. If I click on one and I click on it twice, that's not working. Why is that not working? It's going back to the first one. All right. Some kind of logic fail. Let's have a look. Let's put a breakpoint here. Let's just do that first of all, and then put a breakpoint here. Click on it again. My selected size is small. Why is my selected size small? How's a rectangle on top of the other elements? All it is let's collapse some of this down here. So we've got a grid. Here we are. We've got a rectangle and a path. So this element, these two here, make up one of those. Okay, so all we have is we've got this one is this one. This one is this one. And this one is this one. And then there's just another rectangle that sits over the top. And because it's further down in the order, it appears above all the others. And so it sort of starts out here and then moves across. I know why. See this here? Because I copy and pasted, which is a bad idea.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
I took this gesture recognizer as well. So that's why it's calling it. So I think that will fix it. Let's have a look. The last one's the moving rectangle. Exactly. Yep. There, that's better. So now if I click on one a second time, it doesn't do anything, which is what I'm after. Beautiful. All right, that's good. We like that. What else we're going to do on this page? Let's have a look at this front page. See what we have. Oh, we got a nice little ellipse in the background. A swirl. Okay, we can do one of those. Let's try this. Let's try putting in an ellipse. Let's just put it in here like this, and a height request. See if we can do something smarter with that in a moment. Put it right in the center. And let's just turn this into a... I think this will take a color. There we go. Let's have a look at what color this actually is. Got so many shades here going on. I just want to check which one it is. That's a little bit nicer. Now the trick here is going to be creating this the right size. We might have to have a little bit of code which sizes this correctly. It turns out that it's pretty much about right. When that's up there, it's probably a little bit big. It is a bit big. Once we get this on some different devices, we'll probably... I wonder if this wants to be... See how big this image actually is. Okay, taking up all of that space. Maybe we want to have this... What's that going to do for us? There we are. That's probably a little bit nicer. second. Yeah, image goes below the bottom of the cup. Okay, that's okay for the moment. Okay, pretty happy with that. All right, maybe we should do this this page that appears behind here. So the page behind here has a few different elements here. Beautiful. So we've got a list of things in our bag. We've got a total down the bottom here. We've got a confirm order. Let's do that. Now, of course, as I do this, it's going to keep on popping that down to the bottom. Oh, well, doesn't matter. Where's my main page gone? Is it doing a translate X to move the rectangle? Yeah, it is. So I'm assuming you're talking about this rectangle here. Yeah, so in order to do that one, it's actually not, well, it's doing a layout too, which basically animates the translate X and the translate Y. Actually, no, it animates the bounds actually. So all I'm doing here in this bit of code here is sort of working out which one I'm going to. So let's say I'm going to this one here. I'm getting the bounds of this rectangle and then moving the selection rectangle to that new bounds. So it exactly overlaps the other one. That's all it's doing. All right. But the translate, we're using translate to do this based on a gesture. All right. So what do we want in here? In fact, let me run it again. And we're going to want to do a little bit of binding here. So we're going to need a shopping cart view model and have a few elements in our shopping cart. It's going to have our sizes in total. So just wait for that to spin up again. Grab myself some more coffee. I keep looking in the background because I've got a very Australian problem going on. I've got like 4 spiders in this room. I keep freezing. I think it's freezing whilst I'm doing a build because Android's being a pig and it's basically overloading my encoder when I do a build. So I'm going to have to find a nicer way of doing that. So I think it's me. It's just when I do the builds. Hopefully. All right. So we got our box view there. That's our background. Okay, let's before we dive into that, let's talk about how we're going to segment up this page. First of all, so we've got a content view, which is this back section here. What makes sense to me is probably a grid over the entire area. This is always going to want to be at the bottom, so this could actually just be why don't we put in a couple of rows there, and then this can be this could actually just be a bindable stack layout going down the page. I think that would do it. So why don't we do that? Why don't we go 1, 2, 3 rows. So it's going to be a start. Let's make it an auto and an auto for the moment. And we've got a row span of 2 here. That's actually okay. Yep. And then let's put this stack layout here, which is going to be in grid row 0. We're going to have a label here. Just my bag. And for the moment, let's just set its style to be the header style. But with a text color of white. That's going to probably plonk it right in the middle. Okay. Yeah, we want that to be in the center. We probably want to give this a bit of a margin. That looks about right to me. Okay, let's put our other elements in here as well. Let's put in our button down the bottom. So our button is going to have confirm order. So it's going to have a background color of white. It's going to have a text color of our accent color. It's going to have text of confirm order. It's going to be in grid row 2. It's going to have a margin of 20. Don't you like that? Isn't it a text color? Let's see what that's going to do for us. Oh, it's going to freeze my IDE. Come on, you got this, Visual Studio. Come on. Whoa. So maybe, President, it's me who's locking up. It doesn't look like it's coming back. Nope. Oh, it's back. Beautiful. All right, that's a super big button that we don't want. Maybe this wants to span 3 rows. I'm not freezing. I think it might be when I do a new build. I think Android. All right. So we get a button there. We should have a look at how big this other button is. And maybe what we should do is we should create a style. Maybe we create an implicit style. No, it probably doesn't need an implicit style. There's our confirm order button. There's our bag. Now what we need to do is we need to have some elements inside of here. Oh, we're going to do our box view. Height of 1 in grid row 1. I can see we should refactor out our margins here. Our color is white. Vertical options, we'll put it at the start, and we will, it should already be to fill. It should draw us a little line, I think. It does. Beautiful. So we need a total and we need this. So probably for this, I think I'll put in a grid like that. Hello. How you doing, Ronald? Let's put in a couple of columns here. We'll make it a star, and we'll make it, in fact, we'll make it star star. Let's do that. And actually, let's do this. Let's go and set the margin on this puppy to be 20. Set this in grid row 1. And then we'll get this box view and we'll stick it inside that grid. But we'll make it do a row span of 2, column span rather. Is that going to work for us? Let's have a look. Yep, still there. Beautiful. All right, and then we will have a label using our header text style again. Maybe I should stop doing that. Let's stop doing that. In fact, let's come back to our app XAML. So we've got this header text here and a description text. So let's change this. Let's create another style. If I do this as based on, is this going to work? Header text. but we'll just have a different text color. Let's see if this works. Zoinks. That didn't work. Let's see what that does. I wonder if this based on... I think I just put the name in here, actually. Let's find out. Holy crap. So I looked over on my desk, right? So this is an Australian problem. Here, do you want to know what it's like living in Australia?
Sometimes things don't work.
Hang on a second. let me show you this. This is I've got a really untidy desk at the moment, but look, I'm going to show you something. Where's my back camera? I'll take my filter off it. Hopefully you can still hear me. Can you still hear me? Yeah, I think you can still hear me. I'll show you something. See this? This is what it's like to live in Australia. So you reach over for your water. And see there? There's a dirty spider sitting on my other keyboard. Oh, where is it? There it is. Look at that spider. There we are. That's Australia for you. Anyway. I'm going to be a little bit more careful now when I reach for my water. I've actually got, yeah, look, I've got quite a few spiders living in my, whoops, that's not the right one. Look, this is peak Australia, people. Spider on my keyboard. See the spiders up in the roof? Spider up there. Spider over there. Anyway. Do they bite? No, they don't bite. They don't bite. They just scare you. Well, for me, I don't like spiders very much, so sometimes they scare me. All right, what did I do here? What have I got here? What have I got going on here? What am I even doing with my life here? Daddy Longlegs. I think it's a huntsman spider. So here it's good because they eat all the flies. But they're still creepy. Jay says, watch out for the boots, yeah. Well, actually, it's pretty funny because I've got Spider Killer. Yeah, the spiders help me out sometimes. Spiders come along and say, give me a bit of tips on the XAML. All right, what did we do? We broke the build. We did some stuff. Main page 36, some.
Sometimes things don't work.
Mandatory target type. Yeah, so look here. See, the spider should be helping me out. They should be pair programming on this. I think I need to say target type of label. I just can't remember with a based on, whether a based on has to use like a reference or I just put in the name. Now I'm looking around. Now I'm nervous. All right, we got our elements in there. Beautiful. Let's put in our style of. I'll keep you up to date in that spider. Header text light and the text equals total. Why has it got so much spacing around it? Vertical options of start. Maybe we should do this actually. No. That'll probably fix it up for us, I reckon. Yeah, still a little bit close. I don't know why we've got so much grid of margin of 20 in here. Maybe we'll get rid of that margin. No, not what I'm after. The easy way of doing this is just add another row for this puppy. But anyway, let's just create another label here. Oops. Come on, keyboard, you got this. There we are. And then let's just put in a total amount. So we'll just put in whatever we have for the moment. And that will go into grid column 1. Yeesh, it looks terrible. All right, horizontal options for this bad boy. All right, we definitely want a margin for this. And we'll get rid of the margin for that. Why is there so much space down here? Let's have a look. Okay, so this is in a grid here. Let's set our row spacing to be 0. That'll tighten it up a little bit. And then we're going to stack layout with a margin of 20. Make that 20, 0. Actually, no, that one doesn't matter. Why are you so far down? We've got a grid with a margin of 20. probably a little bit better. Let's actually have a look at the spacing and the design. That will help us quite a bit. So that spacing there is probably okay. You know what? I think I'm going to just do this the easy way. And just say, you know what? This here has 2 rows. I don't really like that. So David says, could be a bug, grid layout with a star and an auto. Not measuring properly in 4.8. Oh, I think this is fine. Like in my case, I think it's doing all the right things, David. It's just that I just want a bit more spacing in between here and here. And so I could either make that line be at the bottom of this upper row here and go across there. Yeah. So I don't think it's a bug. It's just me. I just can't write XAML, David. That's the problem. But having so many autos, yeah, it doesn't smell good. Something, something. There we are. Now I can margin this puppy up. There we are. That's a bit better. It's probably not even white, actually. Probably like this accent color, actually. Let's change it. How you doing anyway, David? Did you see my spiders, David, by the way? All meetings done for the day. Beautiful. Oh, check this out. This is pretty cool. So you know when you're writing code, you know, David, you've written code on stream before, so you know it's always a little bit stressful, right? But then because you live in Australia, you get this as well. You reach over for your drink. And there's a dirty spider sitting on your keyboard right next to your drink. And then you look up. And there's spiders on your roof too. It's a very Australian problem. But it's all right. They're just huntsmen. They won't hurt us. They're our friends. That one's called Bruce. They just eat the flies. All right. Cool. So, where are we? You got wolf spiders that are huge but super friendly. Yeah. I still don't like spiders. You know, even though they're not going to hurt us. But the problem in Australia is half the spiders will just kill you. And the other half want to be your friends. All right. So we want to now Fern Kennedy, good spider's a dead spider. I don't know. Otherwise, that'd be full of flies here. All right, let's add this in here. So what we need is we need a shopping cart, right? So that we can then do this and put this in here, and then I don't know, use a stack layout maybe with some with a bindable layout maybe. That'll probably do it. But in order to do that, I'm going to have to do something with a view model here, aren't I? So maybe we'll have an order item, and then we'll have a collection of so that's an order item. Really, that's actually not so much an order item. It's just like a model item. I'm going to do this. I'm going to rename this to be from order item. Let's just make it like a coffee item. Let's see what that breaks. Probably lots of stuff. And we'll create another one. Oops, not a constructor. And yes, I should of course be doing these in different classes, but it doesn't, different files, doesn't matter though. So we'll say we have an order item. And what this is going to be is, actually, maybe this is a shopping cart item. This is something in our cart. And then we'll have ourselves an observable collection or an observable range collection. That's all right. That's James's version of an observable collection of shopping cart item called items. Yeah, this is called items for the moment. And we'll just hard code an item in there for the moment. Because one of the problems with like designs like this is, and reproducing designs like this is, you notice inherent flaws in the way designers do things. Like when they do a really fancy layout like this. Like for example, there's no real way of removing something from your shopping cart. And I assume maybe what they do in this design is maybe if you swipe here, you get the option to remove it. I don't know. Anyway, let's have a look. Let's do this. Shopping cart item. All right. I'm not going to do best MVVM practices because who's got time for that? So let's go and I'm just going to put in a name, a quantity. Let's put in the price maybe, because the price based on which one I selected. So the size, so we probably need a size. I'm just going to put in a string at the moment. So we also want to have, what do we want? Let's put in the price maybe? I don't know. I'm breaking all the MVVM rules. Maybe there's a total price. maybe our total price actually sits in our order view model. That would kind of make a little bit more sense, maybe. Let's do a really bad version of this. Has anyone implemented a really simple shopping cart view model? Hey, Aaron's, how you doing? Let's just
Today we're gonna code
Hey, Gromit.
lots with Mr. Kim Philpotts, and oh, how amazing you'll be.
Thanks for the follow. And welcome. We just sort of playing around with some Xamarin.Forms. I'm very well, thank you. Aaron's? Hello, Gromit. It's getting close to Christmas. I should wear my Christmas hat, but yeah, what have we got? Another couple of weeks. How's that? That'll give us a total price. Of course, we're gonna have to worry about things getting added to the collection and blah blah blah. But let's not worry about that too much. Again, we're just sort of not trying to create a full functioning app here. We're just trying to let's say items. Add a new shopping cart item. What's a shopping cart item going to have in it? Oh, it's going to have an image. It's going to have a name. It's going to have a size. It's going to have a quantity, a price, and it's going to have a quantity. All right, cool. I'll move this over here so I can reference that. So it's going to have a name. So we're going to just make this a caramel frappuccino. We're going to give it a size, which is a medium. A price, which is $4.85, and we're going to have a quantity which is equal to 1. Now, just for giggles here, let's just use the same image until I go and find one. And let's add an image URL into our model. Alrighty, and we've got a public property there. Oops, that needs a getter and a setter, I think. Let's just do this. There we go. We got ourselves a fake shopping cart item. So I think that's going to be enough to at least give us something to play with.
Sometimes things don't work.
Or not. All right, yellow's not a thing. Okay, we've got a little bit of spacing we probably want to do, but let's have a look. Let's say we've got our top section here. We've got our grid that's down the bottom here. Here's this here. So let's have another stack layout. So what I'm going to do here is this. Where's my design here? So the layout for this is going to be, we've got a stack layout already, which is going down the page here. I'm going to create another stack layout here, and then use this bindable layout stuff in order to put this in. And this is probably going to be grids, would be my guess. Something like that. I don't actually much like the spacing around that, but anyway, we can play with it. So something like that. So we're going to have another stack layout. Orientation. Whoops, my keyboard here. Orientation is going to be vertical. We're going to do something like bindable layout dot item source is going to be our items. And then I've got to remember how to do this. We've got to do something like bindable layout dot item template, and then a data template. Beautiful. And let's just make sure we're getting our data first. So even if the text is equal to, because this is from our item, which is an order item, so I should be able to say binding to the name. And that should at least list out our one item that we have in our, yep, caramel frappuccino. Beautiful. And if we had additional items in there, we would have multiple. In fact, I might just do that. Just for giggles. Just so we can lay it out nicely. Okay, while that's loading up, let's think about what we want inside of here. This will probably get the one from, Yep, so we're going to add 2 items in there. Beautiful. So for each of these data items, let's create a grid with 3 rows, 3 columns. We'll make this first one a fixed size. We'll make the second one use up all the space, and we'll make the third one an auto just because. And then we should be able to say, let's put a box view. Make this, actually probably don't want to put a height request on here. Let's do this. Let's put a box view with a width of 60 and a height of 60. And a color of yellow. That should just put something in the first row or going first column. Beautiful. And then we go stack layout. We like stack layouts, they're cheap. There's stack layout down here. In grid, column 1. And we'll have this, the name. We will have another label which has the size. And we'll have another one which is our price. Come back, have a look at our model here, because I can't remember what it's about our price. Okay, I'm going to have to format those, but that's okay. And then we're also going to have a label, which is our quantity. And that's going to be in grid column 2. Okay. I think that gives us all the data we need, maybe. Yep. Now it's a matter of formatting all these puppies. Okay. So first things first. Could we just put an image in here? Let's just try this. Let's just put an image. What's that going to do to us? All right, that's going to do that. It's going to space it all out. So we'll say, let's make this, let's give it a particular size. So let's say it's going to have a width request of 60 and a height request of 60. All right, nice. Okay, so next we've got our stack layout here. I'm going to get rid of the spacing because spacing sucks. All right. And then let's find ourselves a nice little font here. Now, I reckon we could use this here, header text light, for the quantity. We are going to want to make this centered. And we're also going to want to have this to the right, probably. So to the end. And we're probably going to want to do a string format on this. I can never remember string formats, so let's see what we can do. We want this string format to be x as in x times 0, maybe. Bum, bum. What do we think that's going to be? I can remember how to do string formats. String for, oh, actually, I need a closey bracket here, don't I? That might be it. Come here. Yeah, that's it. Times 1. Beautiful. X1. All right. So now I am our size and our price. Let's quickly create a style for these. Let's call this something like shopping item header. So it's going to target a label. And we're going to want this a semi-bold. We're going to want it to be a font size of, I don't know, let's just start with 20, see what we get. And I think we want to have a text size, a text color of white. And then we'll go and set that style. How's that look? Yeah, it looks a bit big, but anyway, probably okay. What do these other ones look like? They're just a smaller font, you know, actually probably the same size, just in not so boldy. So let's make this a shopping item detail. What's our other one? Is it a light font? I think it's a light font. Yep, light font is what we're using. Oh, it's crawling on my monitor now. It's got a I got a spider crawling on my creepy. Talk about bugs. I got bugs. I got arachnids in my code. The font's too big. And also, we want to change. How big is it? I don't know. It's about that big. It's cold around the back of my monitor now. It's probably warm in there. I'm going to curl up and have a nice little sleep. Let's string format this to be, what is it? What do we got here? Size. Something like that. Size of, oh, you can't see it. Ah, there he goes. Oh, great. Now he's chasing my mouse. Yeah. Spider update. Here's my spider update. Let me get my webcam here. Maybe I should do a little a guest spot for him. So, there we are. You see him? Here he is. See if we can make him jump. Hang on, I'll put this up here. I'll put this up here for Spider Cam. We'll see if we can lure him in. Wait on, let's grab a notepad. It's a no from you. That's all right. I hate spiders as well. But let's see if he... Come on. Come on, Frankie. No. I'll just leave that there for you. Spider Cam. All right. Anyway, I'll keep you posted if he. If Bruce is frozen, yeah, that's right. It was all cool until I put him on the stream. Now he's like, Frankie, yeah, Frankie, Bruce. Pretty much everything in Australia is called Bruce. So, yeah, we'll go with that. We do have nasty snakes. Trust me, if it was a snake, I wouldn't be sitting here. But spiders, huntsman spiders, I can deal with. What am I doing? I'm going to make this look like a currency. Now, I've actually got a bit of a problem here because the mock-up that I was playing around with is actually using a pound sign. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We can fix that later on. So what's the string format? The string format is going to... who remembers currency? Currency, anyone? I want to do 0:C without any idea if that's actually the right thing. Nah, that spider won't bite. It'll bite a fly. It won't bite me though. Maybe it's a currency. All right, hang on, I gotta look this up. C# string format. Currency. It's good old Stack Overflow. C2. 0C. I don't know. I thought it was C. Let's see. No, C2. Maybe I should just read this. String format 0C. Just string C. First spiders and now Stack Overflow. Yeah, absolutely. It is C, isn't it? C3. So I would have thought if we did a C2 would be right. I think you're right, C2. But I thought it would have spat out my little dollar sign, wouldn't it? Wait a minute, I've got the total down here. Or did I just hard code that in? I just hard coded that in, didn't I? Yeah, I just did that. But we actually have a value for this anyway. Wait on. So let's go binding to total price. Right, $10.05. All right, let's try this string format. 0:C2 is what we think it should be. Yeah, that's right. C2. So C2 is it. You're right. Tarasag, you're right. Spot on. C2. So why isn't it doing it up here? Did I do something really stupid, like make the price a string? Decimal price. Has a decimal value. How's that different than this one? I don't get it. Oh, hang on. Oh, there we are. That's why. Actually, I wonder if no, my binding failure didn't show it. But the problem is that if we look here, I got that. So it didn't come up in a binding failure. But I think that'll fix it. Yes, sir. All right, beautiful. Now, let's do a little bit of adjustment before I sign off and do some work. So we've got our grid here. This is in a stack layout. I want a bit more spacing between it. So let's throw in, let's put this over here. Let's put a spacing of 20. That should space them down the page a little bit more. Beautiful. Let's reduce the font size a little bit on this bad boy. I think on this one as well. Yeah, that doesn't look too bad. Oh, so spider update. The worst thing that can... Oh, no, there he is. It disappeared. But it's back. It's back now. It's behind my monitor. All right, cool. Must not panic. Kind of makes coding a bit more exciting, though. All right. We have our items. We're going to stack layout here. Let's add a little bit more spacing. Oh God, stop crawling around. I'm almost off camera because I'm like, all right, that looks pretty good, doesn't it? Okay, so we got a few things working. Let's spin this up from the start again. I can hear my wife giggling outside because she knows there's a spider in here with me and I'm freaking out. Let's wait for this to load up. All right, so we got our selection working. We've got this popping up, so that needs to be done. Our bag's looking reasonable. All right, so let's think about what we need to do for next time. So for next time, the key thing that we'll try and get done is this little animation down the bottom here. That's pretty cool. So there's a couple of things here. There's the animation down the bottom. So that bit, the sliding up of that detail, and perhaps some initial state. So I reckon, and also using a bit of Lottie in order to do this tick when it gets added here. So I reckon that's going to have to, I'm going to call it there. I'm going to go and do battle with spiders. But for those of you who have joined in, thank you so much for joining. Let me go and find somebody who's streaming, and we'll go and we'll say hi. So what do we like? I'm just having a bit of a look at, looking really cool. Thanks, David. I like this. I don't know if you saw this. This is the bit that I like the most, actually. When this rotates. Wait on, let me zoom this in. So this number here that we have here is actually like rotating each of these numbers at different velocities as well, and slightly different times. It's actually randomly changing those values. I reckon that's pretty cool. All right, cool. No worries. Have a good day, everyone. Hey, I'm gonna raid somebody because that's the nice thing to do. We like to raid people. I'm just having a little bit of a look here. If anyone knows anyone good to raid, everyone's playing Cyberpunk 2077. Compilers. Oh, are my sizes radio buttons? They're not actually. You know, it's a really good question, David. They are effectively radio buttons, but are they actually radio buttons? No, they're not. They're three different items. But I think, like, I've been a little bit slack with this one. It's pretty nasty code, actually. So I want to see if I can refactor that into a radio button with templates. The only thing I'm not sure about is this selection as you go across here. I don't think that's gonna work very well with radio buttons, but we can give it a go. At the moment, it's kind of like a custom hand-built radio button. All right. I'm always so indecisive with raids. It's terrible. Just curious. Yeah, it should be a radio button. I don't write a lot of controls. I'm bad like that. Yeah, that is always the trouble. If you want something very specific, and like for what I do, you know, like this is it's a good point, right? So for what I do on my streams, where I'm just trying to like trick Xamarin.Forms into doing what I want without too many renderers. Yeah, you got to kind of custom build some stuff, and you know, if you're working with a designer, you'd like, do you really need that? Try and convince them otherwise. All right, let's pick somebody. Let's pick somebody who hasn't been going for too long. Twitch extensions. Why don't we go and have a look at Callow creation? Callow is part of the live coders team. So we can go and say hi. Well, actually, no, Callow is maybe not. Yes, streaming. So let's go say hi. I'll start a raid. Did that work? I don't know if that worked. 12 viewers ready to raid. All right, well, let's go say hi to Callow. Take care, everyone. And I'll see you next week. So bye for now.